So I've been asked to introduce business management, marketing and tourism management for prospective students. My name's Ian Harris, and what we're going to do in this brief video presentation is just give you some underlying information that will help you make the right decision for your degree choices, a considered decision. So we're going to introduce how universities and business schools in this instance create business and management schemes. We'll then take a look at the individual elements of the degree structure. We'll look at some accolades and examples of successful students, and of course we will outline the major degree pathways and new degrees associated with what you're passionate about studying. The first question is, well, how does a university design your degree? Well, the important thing to consider here is that whichever business school you actually are evaluating, every business school has its content dictated by the UK government. Degrees in business are intended to be employable, so it means that the skills and competences that you generate in those degrees need to be competent for the industries in which you're likely to carve your careers. And to make sure that that happens, the UK government dictates the actual content boundaries. That doesn't mean that there's no flexibility in how we deliver that content, but the fundamental truth is that a business degree from Aberystwyth is pretty much identical to a business degree from other universities. So a degree in marketing from Exeter is fundamentally the same as a degree in marketing from Aberystwyth Business School. And here's an overview. This is looking at a common first year in Exeter, Bath and Aberystwyth business schools. And you can see that, basically, even though they have slightly different titles, the content, I would say, in 85% of the degree schemes across Exeter, Bath and Aberystwyth is identical. Data analytics is just another word for statistics. Business data analysis is just another word for data analytics or statistics. And even within business and society, there would be an awful lot of economic and marketing principles for Bath. So the overlap is incredibly solid. So university business schools seek to position themselves as different. So whichever business school you're considering applying to, or you have applied to, they will seek to differentiate. It's a marketing term for making them seem to be different. And the way that most business schools do this is they will say that we have the top 4 researchers in the UK for this particular discipline, or we have these links with certain industry bodies. And they spend a lot of their money and their reputational capital in positioning themselves in that way. The ABS purpose is basically to be exemplary educators, to provide you with the very best teaching and learning experience, and the university and the business school invest heavily here. And our outcomes in teaching, learning, experience, satisfaction and graduate employability attest to this investment. We are incredibly highly ranked across the major blue chip industry measures for teaching, for learning, for our student experience, our student satisfaction and our graduate outcomes. It's something that we're very proud of as a business school. So how is your degree structured? Well, there's 2 main ways into taking a degree with Aberystwyth Business School. You come in as a foundation year student, i.e. you didn't get the A-level grades that you wished, but you still wish to study at a high quality business school. In this case, we would offer you a foundation year. You would have 6 modules of 120 credits. These would be assessed by coursework and examination, and on successful completion you would just pass into year 1. If you do meet the UCAS tariff for your degree scheme, then you will follow year 1 through to year 3. Now year 1 is a acclimatization year. It uses something called a common first year. It's assessed through 6 20 credit modules, 3 in semester 1, 3 in semester 2. Some of those modules are core. That means you have no choice, you have to take them, they're fundamental. Some are elective. Again, like the foundation year, it's pass, proceed and assessment is by coursework and examination. Now, the only fundamental difference when you move into year 2 and year 3 is that year 2 will contribute 33.3% to your final degree classification, or 1/3 of your final degree will be evaluated against your performance in year 2. And in year 3, 2/3, 66.6%, will contribute. And again, you have core, you have elective. One of the decisions we made as a business school is to really focus on what the industry required from the core modules to ensure that you as students got the right training. Lots and lots of business schools will offer lots of elective modules. And the problem with those elective modules is they're not necessarily the modules and the content areas that UK and world employers really want their graduates to enter their business with. It's much more of an academic is interested in a subject area, let's create a module, whereas we turn that around and we say, what does industry want? And we make sure that we provide that to you in a highly effective manner. So the main schemes, what are known as single honours schemes, so just one scheme, would be business and management, M122, business finance, marketing, digital marketing, tourism management, and adventure tourism management. And they're the core elements of the business school offer. And basically within these domains there are 3 disciplines. There's marketing, there's tourism management, and there's business and management. And those 3 disciplines are very interchangeable, and we allow students, if they want to specialise in certain areas, to take modules within those areas, because that's where they want to carve their career out. But the important thing is at the end of semester 1, which would be at the end of January, or at the end of semester 2, which would be at June, it is possible to change your degree scheme. So if you think that you want to do business management, but then after taking marketing you think it's a fascinating subject, or tourism management because you're really sort of stimulated by it, we allow you, because of that common first year, to change your degree scheme. We also have some new degree programs. Like any vibrant organisation, we develop new programs of activity, and in the last 15 months we've introduced these programs: BSc with business and psychology, marketing psychology, economics with climate change, business with climate change, and a dedicated digital marketing degree. And the important thing here is that this is responding to market needs, industry needs. So the overlap between business, human resources, organisational behaviour and human psychology is fundamental. Marketing and psychology are a very natural combination, and you can see that both business and economics play fundamental inputs into the climate change debate, and lots of industries are now seeking their graduates to have an ethical understanding of how that manipulates behaviours in the workplace and decisions that are being made. So I've mentioned that there's a common first year. So key subject areas in year 1 would include a basic understanding of economics, understanding the economy. You would have to have fundamentals of accounting and finance, and similarly you'd have to have fundamentals of management and business. Now you may ask the question why. It's because basically whatever degree discipline you do in the business school, you have to understand economics, you have to understand the fundamentals of A&F, and you have to understand the fundamentals of management and business operations. In the second semester then you will start your specialisation into marketing principles if you're a marketer, principles of tourism management, data and analytics, and you have other options as well you can take, so electives, okay, but they are core depending on your degree scheme. When you move into year 2 you become highly specialised. So in year 2 80% of your content, your module area, is directly related to your degree scheme, and it's quite easy to have 100% dedicated to your degree interest. So if you're interested in marketing, you can do 120 credits in marketing modules, marketing related modules. One of the things that we do take very, very sort of seriously is your future employability. We ensure that you have the best possible time when you study with us, and we ensure that you will build the skills and competences to be effective. And to do that we have dedicated modules that focus on employability outcome, and this is just a few of them, this isn't a whole list. So we've got employability skills for professionals, which is a module which is open to any third year within the business schools. We have applied marketing management. That's available to about 70% of the total third years in the business school. For example, we have modules such as digital business and management strategy, and they look at how to actually implement business and management strategies. Alongside these modules, we have enterprise hubs, we have executive masterclasses, we have industry professionals that come in and provide perspectives, and you've also got your own dedicated careers interface. You have somebody who's dedicated to helping you as a business school graduate, a business school student, in achieving your employment goals. And we work with local companies and undertake collaborative projects together, and this is one of the companies that we work with on one of the modules that is taught in the third year. Now obviously you want to explore your passion a bit further. If you want to do this, then the easiest way is to go to courses.aber.ac.uk and then just search for the information that you want. You may have done that already. I would strongly recommend that you take a close look at the content within that area. It's very useful for you to understand what the focal attributes of the degree that you're interested in is. So that hashtag business and management is obviously for the business and management, but it would be hashtag marketing, hashtag tourism management, hashtag accounting and finance. You get the idea. And that's what it looks like when you get there. Pretty consistent, pretty similar to what you'd see in just about any university. So let's just have a quick think about where our graduates end up. So these are examples from students who graduated approximately 3 years ago. Hannah Rafferty, when she studied with us, decided to take a year out study actually, and she went to Australia to study for a year, came back to the United Kingdom, continued her studies with us, has got a very, very, very effective career trajectory. What's really fascinating about Hannah is that she actually created her own business idea. She defined the market that was undermet, identified who the competitors were, found a position, and then was given the project to manage for the company. She's since moved on from McGregor Boyle, but the skills and competences that she was provided, i.e. market research and the development of new products, were used quite heavily in her defining that role. Hannah earns considerably more than the vast majority of lecturers in the business school, and she's about 24. This is Dan Phoenix. Dan left us, degree in marketing, was working for Clicky Media. I won't say he was working for now, but I wrote a reference for him quite recently, and he's actually working for the world's largest media company as an account manager for a certain part of digital marketing. And here he's given a seminar to paying customers on how you would merchandise digitally to create selling environments. You can see this was less than a year out of his degree when this photograph was taken, and interestingly each one of those people are paying about £400 for that session. So you can see that he's generating considerable revenue for his audience. But I would say you shouldn't be looking at the screen. You should always be looking at the audience, but I think he's explaining something on the screen. This is Ebenezer Ebbs. Started off with the business school, undertaking accounting and finance. He didn't like accounting and finance, and accounting and finance liked him even less, and he transferred over to a different degree scheme. He's now a strategy and project manager at Everything Everywhere, or EE, and his charismatic personality is going to ensure that he goes very, very far in the industry that he's very, very passionate about. And what he did is he partnered working for EE with a full-time degree and achieved a great outcome. So the other ones have been pretty much business to consumer. Business to consumer and business to business. I introduced Alex because Alex is very much a trade marketing manager, so he works for Reckitt Benckiser, and that means that he deals with fast-moving consumable good multiples, so companies like Tesco and John Lewis, for example. and he's working in the trade, so huge accounts, tens or hundreds of millions of pounds worth of business, and he's a particularly effective relationship marketer is what Alex does. And then finally, this is Alex, and she's at this point she's a go-to-market executive, so she helps unicorns. Now, a unicorn is a company that is worth a lot of money but has very little revenue. Think of a sort of tech startup. She helps tech startups go to market. So she helps them create their business strategy, their financial strategy, and in particular, she is helping them with their marketing strategies. So you can see that our graduates very quickly after completing their first degree or their second degree, all of the ones I've shown you were just first degrees, bachelors, BScs, go on to do great things very, very quickly. And what we desperately try to do and we focus on is to ensure that we nurture the talent that comes to us, and when it leaves us, when individual graduates leave us, such as Alex, they leave us with the core competences and skills and the confidence to be able to translate all this knowledge into their career trajectories and to facilitate a work environment that they're very passionate to be in. So a way to explore tourism management and adventure tourism management is through the adoption of this particular model. This is a modification of Butler's tourism life cycle, and it basically is very similar to the product and market life cycle models you may have studied at A level or become aware of since being interested in business. That is that whatever we do has a beginning, a period of high growth, a period of stagnation, and then probably a period of decline. And I'm using it here just to explain to you two modules from the tourism management and the adventure tourism management degree scheme. So we'll start off with sustainable tourism. The fundamental truth is that there's a need to address climate change, and this need is urgent. We need a cleaner and greener new normal, and post-COVID, sustainability in the world of tourism will be a key focus moving forwards. When we think about sustainability, it's particularly important as it is expected that there will be a great deal of pent-up demand for overseas trips once travel resumes in the next couple of years. So the impact will be on over-tourism, on what happens with both climate change and global climate change. And then obviously there's the impact of tourism on extinction and wildlife generally. So by undertaking this module, you'll critically examine the tools and the frameworks that allow countries and organisations to make tourism more sustainable. You'll explore corporate social responsibility, codes of conduct, the use of eco-labels to support positive contributions to sustainable tourism. You'll look at sustainability indicators and ecological footprinting, for example, to determine what the impact of the activities may be. To be able to understand this, you'll be undertaking field trips and you'll have guest speakers, and they're a key feature of the module. And these focus on providing you with first-hand examples of sustainable tourism in practice and how organisations can differentiate themselves in the marketplace. For the coursework assessment of this module, you will research, present and discuss aspects of a sustainable tourism that are of interest to you and justifying why you think they're fundamentally important that you articulate. Similarly, one of the fastest growing areas within tourism management is the concept of adventure tourism management. And adventure tourism can be micro adventures or macro adventures. So it can be just doing something different, going down a zip line in mid-Wales, or it can be spending 3 months, taking 3 months off from work and travelling a part of the world in a very gradual and gentle manner. So the module provides you with the practical skills to work in the sector and fundamentally allows you to consider the development of a business plan that would support startup activity within adventure tourism. So to be able to undertake such an activity, you'll need to be able to analyse factors that have influenced the development of the sector. You look at the motivations and behaviour for adventure. You will look at the impacts of risk management, because obviously this is adventure tourism. And obviously leadership and corporate social responsibility will be included. Again, field trips, guest speakers are key features, and it gives you this first-hand experience of what adventure tourism is and how adventure tourism is different to traditional tourism. The output of this particular module will be a business plan that can be used for future employment practices. So you can use it when you start looking for graduate placements within the industry.